Hi, Sophia. So I want to help you with this problem number 7. This is all about trying to simplify this so that there's no square roots in the denominator. You notice on these 4 choices, there is no square root in any of the denominators. So that's really what we do when there is a square root in the denominator. We want to be able to simplify it so that there is not. So what we do is we multiply both numerator and denominator by something that's called the conjugate. I don't know if you need to know that word or not, but you need to know how to do it. Oh, you know what? Before we do that, we're going to simplify this. All these numbers here are divisible by 3. So we're going to do that first and simplify this. We're going to divide this by 3 and this by 3 and this by 3. So we get negative 2 over 3 minus square root of 3. Okay? So that's a simplification we can do first. Each of those coefficients is divisible by 3. So we do that. Negative 6 divided by 3, negative 2. And then we have 9 divided by 3 is 3. And negative 3 divided by 3 is just negative 1. So we have this. Negative 2 times 3 minus square root of 3. Now we're going to do what I started talking about. But it's better to do a simple simplification first, like the one we just did. So now we have this. We have 3 minus square root of 3, and the conjugate is just the same numbers, 3 and square root of 3, but with the opposite sign. We, of course, multiply both numerator and denominator by the same thing. Okay. So we'll do the denominator in a minute, how to work that out. But let's do the numerator first. We multiply each of these by negative 2. So we have negative 2 times 3. Oops. I can do that more simply. Excuse me. Negative 2 times 3 is negative 6. So we have negative 6. And negative 2 times square root of 3 is minus 2 square root of 3. And so we see, now we're going to be able to simplify that in some way because it looks like it's going to end up to this one. But we'll see, because this has a negative sign and a negative sign. But we have to work on the denominator. We have 3 minus square root of 3 times 3 plus square root of 3. Now, I don't know if they've taught you in your course how to multiply two things together that each have 2 terms. And we call a method to do that foiling. Do the first, the outside, the inside, the last. And I'm going to write this over here on the left as a way to demonstrate that. 3 minus square root of 3 times 3 plus square root of 3. Now, we're going to do this. If you don't know this term, you'd actually want to write this down and learn it. It stands for first, outside, inside, last. The first term times the first term is 3 times 3, and that's 9. The outside term is the first times the last, which is 3 times the square root of 3, which is just 3 square root of 3. And the inside term is negative 3 times 3, which is minus 3 square root of 3. And the last term is the inside term. And the last term is negative square root of 3 times the positive square root of 3. And that is negative 3. Negative, if that seems strange to you, negative square root of 3 times square root of 3 is the negative square root of 9. And that is just negative 3. Okay? And if that doesn't make sense to you, pass that question along, because I do want to make sure you don't just know how to get the right answers on this test, but that you actually understand these things. So we're going to combine these terms. These middle terms need to be combined. They're both positive 3 square root of 3 minus 3 square root of 3. They actually cancel out. So we have 9 minus 3, which is 6. So I'm going to write this over here. This is our answer. Okay. Now, yeah, okay. So each of those numbers, the 6 and the 2 and the 6 are all even numbers. So we're just going to divide each of them by 2. So we get negative 3 minus square root of 3 over 3. And that is this. All right. So I'm going to send this over to you. Sorry I forgot to do it yesterday. I'm glad I remembered to do it today. And listen, if this doesn't make sense to you, please pass the word along through your mother, or you can reach out to me directly to let me know if I need to explain it better to you. But the way of getting rid of a square root in the denominator is to multiply by something, so the square root is gone. And we had 3 minus square root of 3, so we multiplied by 3 plus square root of 3 to get rid of the radical out of the denominator. Okay? So I hope this makes sense, and I will talk to you later.